Hello, everybody, and welcome to your online secondary Drafting 10 course. My name is Brennan Dunbar, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you this semester. The purpose of this video is just going to give you a little introduction to the class and introduce you to our Blackboard virtual classroom, which is where you're going to get all of your learning materials. It's where you're going to get your assignments. It's where you're going to submit your assignments, and it's where we're going to do all of our live sessions. So without further ado, I'm just going to take you through a bit more about the course and online learning. Okay, so first things first, just sort of a general little list here of expectations and recommendations when it comes to online learning. I've been teaching online for the last several years, and I've learned a lot in the process, and I've learned a lot from my students who I ask for feedback quite regularly, and these are sort of lessons that they have passed to me to pass on to future generations of students. Just some of the general things. We're going to be using the Blackboard system. It's basically a learning system that's online. You're going to have a virtual classroom for Drafting 10, and you're going to get all your learning materials there and any instructions that you need in order to work through the materials of the class. We're going to be using a digital textbook for all assignment drawings and anything that you need with regard to tutorial videos and paper. Not paper, but Word document files, PDFs, things like that. That's all going to be on the learning management system, but we're largely going to use a PDF of a digital textbook that we've created in order to take you through the basics of AutoCAD or LibreCAD in this case, and the drawings that we're going to be doing. So there's no additional textbook for the classroom. You do not have to pick one up at a physical building. There's going to be tutorial lessons, usually in video form, for each learning area of the course. And in addition to those, we're going to be meeting a couple times a week in a live learning session where I will be giving some tutorials and modeling things for you, maybe expanding upon concepts, and of course answering any questions that you have and trying to help you through the material. In this class, students have told me that independent problem solving is very important. I'm always here for support and help, and I do want to help you move through the material. But students have also reported that when they go to the internet, Google forums on AutoCAD and LibreCAD, things like that, to solve problems, they tend to retain it better and are more able to use it in future assignments. So I do definitely encourage independent problem solving in this course, but I also don't want you to get frustrated. So please do feel free to email me or ask questions at live session, and I'm happy to help you out. So here's some things that students have mentioned to me. Ask questions early and often. You definitely don't want to fall behind in this course. There are a lot of drawings to complete and a lot of areas of study that we're going to go through. So if you're struggling with any of the early assignments, don't hesitate to email me, ask for help, let me help you move forward, and you'll find it's easier to move on to the next unit and so on and so forth. Complete the exercises, quizzes, any hand-ins that we have. We're probably not going to have formal exams. It's more about completing drawings and submitting drawings. Make sure that you do complete those on time and get them into me on time so that I can give you feedback, and that feedback is going to help you continually improve your school skills and fix mistakes as you move forward. If you're taking this as a semestered class, the time requirements are very similar to what you would see in a physical school, typically 1 hour a day. Should be set aside for your drafting work. And if you're taking it in a quarterly version, then you're looking at roughly doubling, so to 2.5 hours a day, that sort of thing, which is 10 hours a week, 10 to 15 hours a week. Set a daily routine and stick to it. Students tend to report more success in online courses when they make themselves a little schedule for home. And stick to it. So, if 9 to 10 is going to be your drafting time, try to be consistent and do that every day. Wherever you're completing your work from, do your best to try to find a place that's quiet, a quiet study area where there's minimum distractions. And do take some study breaks every once in a while to sort of recharge your brain and give your eyes a rest. When we're staring at a computer for long periods of time, you can develop eye strain, get headaches, and that sort of thing. So we want to be cognizant of that. And then just pick some micro goals for the course, in the next week or month or for the entire course. And try to keep that in the forefront of your mind as you move forward. What's my goal in this class? Is my goal, a certain grade, a certain mark? Is my goal to learn some certain skills or to create something? If you keep that sort of as the forefront, students find that they are they're more motivated and more able to move forward with their learning. All right, so that's just sort of the general recommendations with regard to an online class, and Drafting 10 will work in a very similar manner to any other online classes that you've seen. If you're new to online learning, that's no problem. We have tutorial sessions and videos set up to help you through navigating our virtual classroom and just kind of familiarizing yourself with the system and where to find learning materials and where to go for live sessions and how to hand things in. So those resources are always available. But again, if you have any questions, I certainly encourage you to contact me. I'm just going to quickly flick over to a program that is called LibreCAD. Drafting used to be done mostly on paper with pencil and erasers and T-squares and rulers and things like that, but it's moved on into digital platforms over the last 30 years or so. And anybody who's doing mechanical design, engineering, technical drawings, it's all done with drafting software now, and the most common drafting software in the professional world would be AutoCAD. Autodesk makes AutoCAD and Inventor and Fusion and all sorts of modeling programs that allow you to do work that's very accurate, and it's a lot easier than drawing things by hand on blueprints and paper and things like that. So we're going to work. 95% of our work is going to be digital in this class, which poses a bit of a problem. You do need to have reasonably powerful software in order to complete good drawings. And because this is not a course taught in school, we're not going to have necessarily licenses for AutoCAD and the other very expensive softwares that are used in the professional world. And I mean very expensive, sometimes up to $5,000 to $10,000 per computer. So I've had to search around a little bit to find some free alternatives for us to use. But in this course, you definitely will need some sort of personal computer. You're going to need a laptop, a desktop PC, or a Chromebook. You cannot complete this class on a tablet or on a phone. So please do make sure, if you are going to take the class and move forward with it, that you do have access to a machine. You also need to be able to download a program to your machine, download programs and install them. And you can do that, as long as you have administrative privileges on your home computer, whatever that may be. It doesn't matter if it's a Mac or if it's a Windows machine or if it's a Linux machine or a Chromebook. You will have access to the software that you need. The software that I've chosen for our two-dimensional unit is called LibreCAD. It is free, completely free. It's open source, and there's videos on how to install it and how to configure it so that your screen looks like my screen when I'm doing the live tutorials or when I'm doing the recorded video tutorials. So it is important that you're able to install that software on your machine and then get it working properly. If you have any troubles, please email me and I will help you work through it. So that's what I've chosen for our two-dimensional drafting unit, and I chose it because it looks very similar to AutoCAD and other very commonly used drafting softwares. So if you can learn how to do things in LibreCAD, you can move yourself to an AutoCAD environment, and there aren't going to be too many changes for you there. For our three-dimensional part modeling, I picked actually a web-based service, and it's called Onshape. And Onshape is Onshape is a three-dimensional parametric modeler. It's quite powerful. It's actually a pretty impressive piece of software that you can find online. Usually, software of this type is dedicated to software that you have to download and install on your machine, and it's quite large and memory intensive. So I've been pretty happy with Onshape so far. It does have similar features to Inventor and other 3D modeling software that's used in the industry. It's not quite as powerful, and some of the commands are different, but it's a very, very good introduction to three-dimensional design and part design and mechanical engineering. So those are the two pieces of software that I've chosen. The LibreCAD is a download again and an install. Onshape is an online web-based service, and you will need to sign in as a student, and I will have instructions on how you create an account, and obviously we're going to have tutorials on how you create drawings and save drawings and work with your 3D model designs. So that's sort of the technical aspect of the course. With regard to where is everything and how do I navigate, this is our Blackboard classroom right here, drafting 10, and there is a menu on the left side, and your menu is going to look a little different than mine because I'm a teacher. So I'll just enter into student preview, and it should simplify the menus a little bit. As you start the class, always go to the start here. No matter what online class you're taking, you're going to have a start here section, and it's just going to give you a little welcoming, and it's also going to give an option for a Blackboard orientation. It's not very long; it's about 30 minutes. But if you've never used the Blackboard learning system before, and maybe this is your first time learning online, or you used Google Classrooms when the last time you learned online, you're going to want to do that 30-minute little introduction so that you can see how to navigate and how to where things are located, and it's going to be helpful. Another thing I've got on there is a pacing calendar, which is going to be very important for you. Now, I haven't created the pacing calendar for this semester yet because we don't have the dates, but this is just an example of something that you would have seen if you had taken a math class with me. It's just got the days of the week, and it's got different color coding to indicate whether or not it's a live session or a drop-in help session in blue, or independent work periods. It's also got any hand-ins or quizzes noted, what days they're due, what day you should be working on them. So it's a really good, the students really like to print this off in general and keep it beside their computer or tape it to the wall or something, just to use it as a checklist to make sure that you're moving through the material and handing things in on time. Because if you can get your material to me on time, I can assess it, I can give you feedback, get it right back to you, and then you can use that feedback moving forward. Again, students overwhelmingly tell me in this course that it's very doable, and you can get a very good grade if you just do what you're supposed to do every day. But if you fall behind, weeks, months, etc., obviously you're not going to be able to meet your goals. And I'm always here to help. So just let me know if you're struggling with anything, and I certainly will help you through it. There's a course outline on this in PDF form. Most of the documents that you'll have for download are in PDF form, so you can open them on any device. This is just another link to the orientation module. And then I've also got a quick technology tips section at the bottom. There's not much in there right now, but if I find little tips and tricks that I think will help you, just general computer stuff, I'll throw them in there. So that's the Start Here page. You really only need to go there once at the beginning of the course. And after a while, I'll shift it so that our homepage for the course is the announcements page. So when you log in every day, just have a quick look at the announcements page. There won't always be something in there, but it's going to be your launching point for the class. And if there is an announcement, please make sure you read it. Just a couple more items on the navigation menu that I want to bring your attention to. There is a live sessions here link, and this brings us to our class collaboration room. It's sort of like a Zoom program, but it's built right into our class website. So when we do our usually twice weekly, sometimes 3 times weekly live lessons, that's where we're going to be clicking. And then the rest of the navigation menu is just dedicated to individual units for each of our learning areas down to Unit 9. So there's a brief little introduction section that you should go through. It's got a copy of this video and just setting up your AutoCAD account and setting up your Onshape account. If you do that at the beginning of the semester, it might just take a little bit off your plate later. There's some a video introduction to technical drawing, just kind of get you going type stuff. And I believe there is an assignment down here that on ergonomics, and this is just a very brief unit on setting up your work area and making sure that you're able to work at a desk using software comfortably for longer periods of time, so that you don't develop any sort of long-term chronic issues. Unit 2, we're going to jump into probably the end of the first week, beginning of the second week of the course. So this is where the bulk of our learning is going to occur. It's a very practical class, so we're going to be working every day on our drawings. There isn't going to be a whole lot on theory, but what theory there is incorporated into all of our exercises. So again, just making sure that you've got all the downloads set up properly, and some recommendations on how to set up folders on your computer so that you can download what you do online and make sure that they're saved appropriately. And I find it a lot easier if you've got things organized into the individual units of the course. Then videos on how to set up your AutoCAD web app and some helpful little tips and tricks. And then we get right into the lessons. And these are using the tools within AutoCAD to help us make representation of the objects. All the assignments are included. So it's typically lesson assignment, a lesson assignment, and so on. For assignments, you've got an example of the drawing. These are from that digital textbook, so you'll have them here and in the digital textbook, which is just a PDF download. It's all free. And when you click into the assignment, it shows you another copy of the drawing that you're supposed to replicate, as well as a rubric for each drawing. So if you click on that, it'll show you what you're being graded on. And then when you're done your drawing and downloaded it to computer and saved it in the proper spot, you hand it in just by going to Browse Local Files. And it'll pop up one of these kind of menus. You just pick the file that you want to upload. You can upload more than one at once if you want. Click Open. And then you'll notice that it attaches it to the assignment. You can go back and add more, or you can delete them by clicking Do Not Attach. And then at the very end, when you're satisfied with it, you can hit Submit. If there's any notes that you want to give to me or add about your drawing, you can throw it down here in the comments area and hit Submit, and then it should give you a success message telling you exactly what you handed in, when you handed in, and I get a message on my side that there's something in my marking folder that needs to be addressed, and then I'll give you feedback. There's a My Grades area down at the bottom here. So this is where you're going to go for feedback and marks on your assignments. It should be, you can order this. I usually just order it with the class order. Should take you from assignment 1 all the way down through the last assignment in order. And then when you're in this page, if you've submitted it, you will have a little note here saying you handed this assignment in on a certain date. And then when I've marked it and given you some feedback on it, you will have an opportunity here to click into your assignment, see the feedback that I've given you, and if it is an assignment that you can fix and resubmit, you'll have an opportunity to do that, and it'll also show you your grade over here. So you will be going to the My Grade section pretty often to check your feedback on assignments and things like that. I think that's probably all that we need to discuss with regard to getting going in the course. I think it's pretty well laid out, so make sure you're just sort of starting at the top and working your way down, attending the live sessions, and doing all those things that are student responsibility to make sure that you're keeping up with the course and you're asking for help when you need it. I'm here to support you, so never hesitate to reach out to me. And I'm really looking forward to working with you. Again, this is definitely one of my favorite classes to teach. I really enjoy it, and I hope that you develop the same passion for technical design and engineering that I have. And just use it as another set of tools in your tool belt of learning. And if you choose to go forward with this, there's Drafting 20, there's Drafting 30, and then there's all sorts of courses that you can take at technical institutes or universities if you want to carry forward in your post-secondary career. So thanks for your attention, and I look forward to meeting all of you. Have a great day.